Brooklyn Independent Television.
I'm 9 feet tall and my skin is gray.
My name is Michael Hearst and I am a composer and musician. Live here in Park Slope, Brooklyn. I have a band called One Ring Zero, and we've released 8 or 9 albums at this point. Our best known album is called As Smart As We Are, and it's an album that has lyrics by various writers. I grew up in Virginia Beach. Started taking piano lessons around the age 7. After just a year or two, I realized I hated piano lessons. I think a lot of it had to do with the teacher that I had at the time. It wasn't until I was about 14 or 15 that I started to rebuild an interest in music on my own without being forced into piano lessons. And by the time I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to be a musician and went to music school. I tend to gravitate towards slightly darker Eastern European, slightly macabre sounds. Circusy, klezmery, all those elements come through, but there's also a pop element, a rock element, a lot of times with drums. But then I also do film scoring, and which often needs to be a little more straight-laced. All you have to do is look through my iPod to see what inspires me. We'll listen to Duke Ellington one day, and then I'll listen to Slavic March Band the next day, and then I'll listen to Pink Floyd the day after that, and Radiohead. That's what makes my music what it is taking all these elements and putting them together, and it's all over the place. About 3 years ago, I realized how incredibly sick of the Mr. Softee song I was. I just, it was like this truck was going by my house every day and playing the same song, and I was like, has nobody written new ice cream truck songs? So I set about writing and recording a whole new album of songs for ice cream trucks. And it was something I kind of did just for my own entertainment, but when the album came out, a couple amazing things happened. I didn't realize it worked as a kid's record. It turned out to be a really successful children's record. People were buying it, especially for toddlers. Just kind of chimey instrumental music. Parents were saying how much their kids loved it and moved to it. And these are my neighbors and some of my biggest fans of the Songs for Ice Cream Trucks album. This is a new recruit apparently for Songs for Ice Cream Trucks.
Well, the nice thing about the Ice Cream Truck CD is it's so soft, so that you could read to your child and have it in the background as well as just dance or do ballet steps. It's just lovely. We're big fans.
To my surprise, I started getting emails from ice cream truck drivers around the country who in fact had heard about the record, heard me on the radio or whatever on NPR, and were very excited that there was some new material out there. So at this point, the album and the songs are being used on trucks throughout the country, 50 plus ice cream trucks. You want it warmed up? One of the projects that I'm working on with my band One Ring Zero is called the Recipe Project, where we've taken recipes from some of our favorite chefs and set them to music and are singing the recipes word for word. I had to include a recipe from Colson Patisserie, simply because I come here every day. In fact, I used to work here. But the recipe we did with Colson Patisserie is speculoos. Am I saying that right?
Yep. So the speculoos is basically a European version of, it's probably the ancestor actually of the ginger snap.
The recipe for speculoos is in French, and it seemed like we just had to keep it in French. To me, it actually sounds more musical because of that, because I don't quite know what half the words are. It was a challenge to write, but Alyssa did a beautiful job of singing it, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think we should do the echo thing as often as possible. Yeah. People laugh every time you do it. And the more you do it, the funnier it gets.
1, 2, and
don't think that I particularly have a drinking problem, but I do spend an awful lot of time here at Bar Best. This is a venue in Park Slope, Brooklyn, which is very important to me. When I moved to Brooklyn in 2001, and they told me they were planning to open a music venue, and I immediately said, if you guys open a bar, I will do everything I can possibly do to help you with this place. And in fact, I built the stage in the back room, all 2 inches of it, and there's a banner of One Ring Zero displayed on the wall permanently. One Ring Zero plays here typically once a month, and I also do solo shows here and have helped curate reading series. And really, it's just an amazing cultural institution in Park Slope, but also in New York City. So clearly, Brooklyn is hugely important to me. I have lived here now for 11 years, and the sense of community I've built just in that 4-block radius around my house is something that has made me so I feel like I can never leave at this point. You know, the fact that I can walk in the morning to Colson Patisserie and make myself a coffee and talk to Jonathan for an hour about what projects we're working on is great. And then I go home and work for a while, maybe come back for another coffee at some point. And then at 6 p.m. I come here and have a glass of wine and say hi to Quince and see what jazz band or what brass band is playing at Bar Best. There's really nowhere else in America that I think you can do that.
Become a fan on Facebook, like Brooklyn Independent Television.